This work is the work that is about believing in our country and its capacity. And a lot of the work that we have accomplished together in the last 2.5 years is work that some people didn't think could happen again in our country, which is investing in our workers and understanding the importance of the dignity of work. As many of you know, in terms of my background, my parents met while they were protesting for civil rights. When I was a child, they would take us to the marches, me in a stroller. And at the very earliest stages of my life then, I learned the power of solidarity. That when we use our collective voice, whether at a protest or on a picket line, we can drive great change. The belief in the power of solidarity has really guided me my whole career, and it guides our administration. President Joe Biden and I are determined to lead the most pro-union administration in America's history. And we do so proudly. We do it proudly. Because you see, we know, like all the leaders here know, when union workplaces are safe, it makes all workplaces safer. When union wages go up, everybody's wages go up. And when unions are strong, and I say this as Vice President of the United States, when unions are strong, America is strong. We're clear about that. And so I want to thank all the union workers here today for the work you do to help build a stronger America. And in particular, over the last 2.5 years, for your work to help build back up America's infrastructure. Now, as many of you remember, before President Biden and I took office, America's infrastructure was falling apart. For years, Americans had to drive to work, to school, to church on roads and bridges that had not been repaired in decades. Millions of people around our country had the all too common experience of delays, detours, and potholes. And for many folks, that meant paying hundreds of dollars out of pocket, for example, to repair a flat tire, which we know car insurance does not cover.
Hello, friends. There is little time left. Congressional lawmakers are now left with little time to avoid a government shutdown. Many are warning of how the shutdown may affect the United States economy and millions of Americans. So in order for an agreement to be reached, many cuts to spending may have to be made. My dearest friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for the latest news and information. Also, this coming Friday and every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. My friends, please make sure that you enter these weekly giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dearest friends, the more videos that you watch and then comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. A possible federal shutdown is on the horizon, with Congress at odds over how to fund our government. But once they return to Capitol Hill, the race to pass a budget is on. Representative Abigail Spanberger is one of the lawmakers sounding the alarm about the possibility of a shutdown. She says a government shutdown would be crushing for the millions of federal employees, like those living in her Virginia district. She also said that beyond that, a shutdown would hurt people across the country who rely on federal services like Medicare, Social Security, or VA healthcare. Our government will shut down if Democrats and Republicans fail to reach an agreement by September 30th, 2023. Representative Bob Good has recently told reporters, "We should not fear a government shutdown. Most of the American people won't even miss if the government is shut down temporarily." Bob Good is among the lawmakers demanding major cuts to current government funding levels. Senate Republican Rick Scott also wants to see spending slashed. But with Democrats in control of the Senate, those spending cuts have little chance of passing. That means lawmakers will be forced to compromise, even with a tight timeline. Senator Tim Kaine says he thinks ultimately they can avoid a shutdown. But according to Bloomberg News, the economy is getting a boost from Bidenomics about a bulging federal budget deficit, simultaneously fueling hopes that the United States will avoid a recession, while fanning fears it will be stuck with too much debt and too high inflation. A trio of legislation championed by President Biden helped galvanize demand in the second quarter and is likely to have a bigger impact going forward. Economic growth has also been unexpectedly goosed by a widening of the federal government's budget deficit, driven in part by outsized Social Security payments and a delay in income tax payments by California businesses and residents. A key question is whether the more than $1 trillion worth of support from Bidenomics, which the president aims to make a pillar of his re-election campaign, is well-timed. The debate is whether it's paving the way for a soft landing of the economy or laying the groundwork for a renewed rise in inflation. Advocates of each scenario found support for their views in the latest employment report. Payroll growth slowed but stayed steady last month, buttressing hopes that the United States can avoid a recession. But wage gains remain elevated, feeding inflation fears. Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi is among those seeing Bidenomics as a plus, arguing it will help offset the lagged economic impact of aggressive credit tightening. Zandi calculates that Bidenomics will make up 0.4 percentage point of the relatively meager 1% economic growth that he predicts in the coming year. Other economists worry that the Biden stimulus is working at cross purposes to the Fed's efforts to slow growth and reduce inflation to its 2% goal, potentially setting the stage for even more rate hikes next year. So as far as the public goes, any economic gains have not translated into increased support for the U.S. president. Less than 40% of registered voters gave Biden a favorable rating in a recent poll. Fed policymakers, for their part, have played down the economic impact of fiscal policy. Chair Jerome Powell has said that it wasn't an important driver of inflation. The uncertainty surrounding the inflationary impact of Bidenomics is compounded by the ballooning of the budget deficit, only a small part of which is due to the president's programs. Well, my greatest and most beautiful friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dear friends, this coming Friday and every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. Please make sure that you enter these weekly giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos, and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed week.